Okay. Getting ready, getting everything running. All right, good. Is that visible? Good. We got rid of the glare this time. Hey, go me, right? Maybe one of these days I'll actually understand how to make tech work. Who knows? Kind of. That camera's so shit. Alright. Turn you back a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's get some people up in this bitch. Let's see, where is everyone? Okay. Alright. See you guys getting in. Let's go ahead and start. Uh-oh. My other camera just shit out. Don't do that. Alright. Now it's gone. There we go. All right, gentlemen. Welcome to the very best part of your week. It's called Live with Jack. This is Live with Jack number 91. Hi, I'm Jack. And today I'm going to be teaching you all about which type is right for you. Which type of woman is the best for you? And that's a very difficult question to ask. And it's a very difficult question to answer because most people aren't even aware that there are 14 different types. But today I'm going to be teaching you about all the types and how to choose which one is right for you. So I hope that you're ready for that. But if you'd like to truly enjoy today's lesson, if you would like to maximize your experience, take it up to nearly orgasmic levels, then all you will need to do is grab your glass, your mug or your flask, a chalice, a stein, or even a cask. Raise it high and let's make a splash. It's time now for our libation bash. Toast the night and enjoy the mood. Together now, we drink some booze. On your mark, let's not wait. It's cheers with chaps, so don't be late. Uh-oh, I'm almost late. I forgot the sounder. Oh no, wait, everything froze. All right, frozen sip. And then we're waiting for it to unfreeze. It'll get there, I promise. What fucking duct tape production is this? Oh, man. I actually think my computer is getting worse each day. There we go. All right, sounder. And the official cheers. Cheers, boys. All right. Oh, delicious. Today we have a nice a Jeju beer. If you guys are in Korea, then you know Jeju. And actually they make some pretty good beer down there. But all that said, oh, nice. Somebody just signed up for our course. Cool. Good deal. So let's go ahead and jump into today's lesson. We're going to be talking about which type is right for you. But in order to do that, we first need to talk about some of the different types. Now, I don't have, does that help? Nope, that made it worse. All right, maybe. Whatever. I'll just stand here to do it. Okay, so I don't have time on the live stream to actually go through each and every type. But what I am going to do is I'm going to give you a very, very quick rundown of the different types and why I have them categorized the way that I do. So our first category up here in the 14 types is the long-term relationship girls. These are the ones who are best fit for a serious long-term relationship. Now, in most cases, in like 98% of cases, that's going to be a serious, committed, monogamous relationship. There might be a couple of you guys out there who are into like the polyamory or the swinging or something like that. But For almost all cases, this is going to be your long-term, serious, monogamous relationship. These types are going to be the prude, the shy girl, the friend, and the husband hunter. So, quick rundown. The prude is your this is your young, inexperienced girl, the girl who doesn't relationships, but they do need a lot of training and they need a lot of leadership to get to the right place, to understand how the world and how relationships actually work. One of the downsides to this type of girl is that her concept of a relationship is literally just whatever she's seen on movies and TV. So it's going to take a little bit of training to get her there. Next up is the shy girl. Now, shy girls are wonderful. And this is very different from the prude, although they're often mistaken. Your shy girls are your introverted types, the types who don't like to go out in large groups. They might still like to party. They might still be adventurous, but they're going to be very standoffish in large groups. So shy girls are these are your lady in the streets, freak in the sheets type of girl. They might like to do a lot of things. They might have more experience than your prude, but they're going to hide that away until you get them behind closed doors. Also very excellent for long-term relationships. Next up, you have the friend. Not to be mistaken with a girl that has put you in the friend zone. That's a totally different problem that I've made other videos dealing with that one before. So just go to my channel and search friend zone and you'll learn how to always avoid the friend zone. But the friend is a codependent type. This is your girl who always does everything together with her girls. They have like a little tribe, like a hen collective or something, and they always do everything together. So it can be very hard to get her out on a date by herself without her inviting her friends along. This can make it a little bit difficult to kind of actually escalate the relationship and turn it into something more than just an acquaintance or a friend or anything like that. However, if you do, the friend makes a very, very loyal companion. She can be a little bit difficult to get to know because of essentially a cock-blocking ring that is conspiring against you. But apart from that, once you do break through that, and I'll teach you how to do that, but I don't have time for it here. Once you break through that, she can make an excellent girlfriend and long-term partner. Next up, we have the husband hunter. This is your girl who's a little bit older. Maybe she was in, one of these short-term categories earlier when she was younger. She was a little bit wilder. She went a little bit crazy, but now she's getting a little bit older. Maybe she's late 20s, early to mid 30s, and she's like, oh shit, that biological clock's a tick-tocking, isn't it? I better hurry up and find a good guy to match up with, to get together, to settle down with, and to start a family. All right. So the husband hunter is only looking for serious relationships, and you'll be able to tell that because she's gonna say some things like, "Oh, I'm looking for husband energy right now," which basically just means I'm done giving it up for free. Now you're gonna have to buy the cow to get the milk. Okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because once those girls do settle down, if they have the right mindset about it, they can make very good long-term partners. Regardless, this girl is not going to be all that interested in a short-term relationship. So save yourself the time and effort and skip her if you're just looking for quick hookups. Next up, we have our short-term relationship girls. So let's start off with everybody's favorite, the slut. Yes, I know. Oh, Papa Jack, you're so mean. Oh, you're a misogynist. You're being mean to girls. No, I'm not. Look, let's be real. The slut exists. You know she exists. We all know she exists. She exists in every country, in every culture, no matter where you go in the world. So let's not pretend she doesn't. Let's acknowledge it and celebrate it for what it is. The slut is absolutely wonderful. She has an incredibly high sex drive, and she is driven by that. She is almost impelled by the power of her sex drive to do the things that she does, for better and for worse. So all of the decisions she's making largely are driven by that base motivation. This can work great in your favor if you are also driven by that same base motivation. Learn how to talk to her, learn how to be the one who stands out to her, and be the one who she picks. And the slut can make a terrific partner for a short-term relationship. By the way, short-term relationship, this is kind of a catch-all term to mean actual short-term relationships, 3 months or less, or flings, usually like 1 to 2 weeks in that general range, or just one night stands and hookups. So the slut is excellent for those. Great, wonderful, terrific. Love everything about her. Next up is the alcoholic. Now, the alcoholic is your party girl. She loves to go out. She loves to drink. She loves the energy. She's usually quite extroverted. Not always, but usually quite extroverted. Like I said, she likes to party. So this is like your woo girls. You know the woo girls, right? Your woo girls fit into this category. And they are wonderful for short-term relationships. Actually, for short-term relationships or flings as well. One night stands, fine, but with the alcoholic, they tend to be a little bit messy and not very fulfilling. So actually, I don't recommend them highly for one night stands, but for short-term relationships, for flings, they're great. And another added benefit of the alcoholic is that she is usually not very jealous because she's often making her own bad decisions too. So she can make a wonderful wing girl. If you guys become like kind of friends with benefits kind of thing, and then it's like, hey, you know what? Tonight, let's try something new. You can be my wing girl. Let's see what we can do. Something like that. Make it into a competition. Who can pick up faster? Who knows? Alcoholic is probably down to try it, especially after a couple of these. Oh, quick break to loosen up the vocal cords. Next up is the attention whore. This is your club girl, your Instagram girl. This is the girl who is always on social media, and she is always trying to be seen in the right way, in the right places, with the right filters, with the right everything. She's always looking for a new place to take her picture because her currency in life, it's not money, it's attention. And so she's very focused on attention. Usually the attention whore is also extremely hot because Instagram girls, right? This is your anybody who describes themselves as an influencer or something like that. This is probably who you're talking about. And usually they're extremely attractive. However, they're really only good for short-term relationships because a couple of reasons. One, too much attention. It can really ruin the psyche a lot. But second, and more importantly, she's constantly bouncing this, that, the other thing all over the place. It's going to be very difficult to hold her attention for long. Next up, we have the cheater. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Papa Jack, why is the cheater even good for short-term relationships? Why isn't she down in the nope zone, if you've noticed that by now? No, the cheater actually, despite her name being, the most obvious and terrible part of her, the cheater has some really good aspects to her as well. See, she's not driven to cheat by the desire to hurt anybody or even by being overly sexual like the slut. Although it's possible that they have the overlap there. However, what the cheater is driven by is she's driven by adventure. She's driven by newness. She wants that feeling, that excitement that something new brings. So the cheater, while terrible for a long-term relationship for obvious reasons, can be excellent as a short-term partner. Maybe you're traveling and you run into this kind of girl. She can make a great travel buddy. You want to have a fling for a week or two? Listen, this is the candle that's going to burn the hottest, the fastest, and the brightest. So enjoy that while it lasts for a week or two, but know that it's gonna burn out very quickly. So cheater, actually very good for short-term relationships. Next, we have this group. This can fit into either long-term or short-term relationship categories. However, they do fit a little bit better into different ones. And I need to mark that as we go, right? So worker bee, generally better for long-term relationships. Your worker bee is your career girl. She's very driven, very ambitious, and doesn't have time for any of your bullshit. So if you're a very high maintenance dude, if you need a lot of attention, a lot of love, a lot of hugging and cuddling and coddling, if you need that mommy energy, skip the worker bee entirely. She's got no time for your bullshit. However, if you are a low maintenance guy, you're very independent yourself, maybe you're very busy with your career and you like a girl who's in the same kind of situation, the worker bee can make a great long-term relationship partner due to the fact that she will never really have enough time for you and that you are always going to be playing second fiddle to her career and her work. She can also make a very good short-term relationship partner or even kind of a longer term, loosely defined friends with benefits kind of situation. So this one can really go into either category. Next up, you have your gold digger and your materialist. This is really a two-bag situation. So this one is absolutely both because it very much depends on your situation. If you're going into it knowing that you're looking for a gold digger or a materialist, then they can make great long-term partners. It's a very transactional relationship, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If both people are happy with that, then it's good, right? That's all that you're looking for, something that fits you and that's actually good for what you want and what you need. So quick little description: the gold digger and the materialist. Basic difference is the gold digger is here to try to accumulate as many resources as possible. She wants to be rich, even if people don't know it, even if she doesn't show it. It's not all about status. It's about having the resources, about never running low ever. Then you have the materialist. The materialist is all about status. Even if it means you have to go into debt to make it happen, she wants to be seen as rich. This is the type of girl who will always want the newest bag, the newest dress, the newest car, the newest phone, only because she wants people to see that thing. It's all about projecting this image, regardless of if you actually have the money or not. So, like I said, if you're coming into a relationship saying, look, I know what I bring to the relationship, and it's resources. I know what you bring to the relationship. We both do. So let's make this a long-term transaction. Great. But also, if you just flash a little bit of cash, you're looking for something short-term, you're looking for something quick, it can be fun for something like that, especially if you're in poorer countries. This type of girl is going to be more common in going after foreigners because they're seen as having more resources. So you can play a little bit of sugar daddy for a short term, for like a weekend trip or something like that. Have a good time with it, but understand that if you aren't coming into it looking for a long-term transactional relationship, you're going to have to set some boundaries and cut it off as soon as it's over. Next up, we have the crazed lover. The crazed lover, I'm gonna put as better for short term. And the reason for this is because, well, she's crazy. But for some dudes that really like the drama, they like the up and down, they like the Jerry, right? Like they like all that drama. The crazed lover can be a fantastic long-term partner if you don't mind the drama. This girl is, I'm not even joking, this girl is your ride or die, where she would die for you, she would kill for you, and she might even kill you if you try to end the relationship. There is danger to a girl who's this enamored and this dedicated, but it can be intoxicating, especially if you're the kind of guy who's never really had a ton of positive attention from girls. If you run across this type, you need to be cautious because you might get sucked into her world quicker than you realize. If you're dating a crazed lover and you realize this, you have until about the 3-month point to be able to escape safely. After 3 months, though, she's going to have herself fully dug into your life and into your world and into all of your relationships, and you'll never be able to get out without some kind of explosion happening. And the longer you're in it, the bigger that explosion is going to be when it ends. So this is one that you either need to cut off 3 months or sooner or marry until you die. Those are your two options. Next up, we have the foreigner lover. The foreigner lover is really a both type of girl, because foreigner lovers, depending on where you are and what your situation is like, these can be excellent long-term partners if you're in the right kind of situation. They can also be good short-term partners if you're in the right situation. The foreigner lover, as her name suggests, is the type of girl who doesn't like her own country, her own culture. This is the type of girl that you'll see saying, like, oh man, yeah, my country sucks, my country does this, my country does that, and all of these things. And then she only exclusively dates guys from not even just other countries, but she probably has a favorite. She has a specific one. So here in Korea, for this, it's actually a lot of girls are really into British guys. And some of them are into Australian guys, some of them are into American guys. But the one that I've seen most common is that they're really into British guys. And that means that almost nothing else matters. And they'll throw out the rest of their standards and what it is that they're looking for, as long as he ticks that one box. So foreigner lovers, there's a lot to be said for them in both the good and bad category, pros and cons and all that stuff, but they really fit into both categories depending on your situation and what it is you're looking for from her. The last one we have here, down here, this is the nope zone. This is the nope zone. Gentlemen, Absolutely. Do not ever fucking do this. This is the succubus. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're meeting, you're dating, you're hooking up with whatever, a succubus, if you recognize her, as soon as you recognize her, you jet. You get out of there because that is your only defense. You have to run away. These girls, this is not like the crazed lover. This is not like the slut. This is not like the cheater. Those have some pros to them. This is the type of girl who will suck the life out of you. She will take all of your resources. She will take all of your time. She will wreck all of your relationships, and then she'll make you think it's all your fault. You need to run away whenever you see this girl. Every other type on here, even the ones that sound derogatory, they all have good qualities to them. Only the succubus is an absolute, no matter what, do not pass go, do not collect $200, run the fuck away, because your life literally may depend on it. Now, if you are curious about learning more about these types, I have great news. I have created a completely free guide to teach you about all 14 of these types and about how you can actually start understanding them and start meeting them. And you can get the free 14 type method ebook in the link in the description below. It's right here at the top of the description, and it's 100% totally free. No credit card, nothing at all. You just click it, you put in your email address, and it sends it to you. That's it. So if you want to learn more about all of these types and figure out which one is best for you, you need to click the link in the description below right now, and you can get your free copy of this immediately. Now that I've done all that, let's talk about which type is right for you and how you can figure that out. So the first thing we need to talk about is, why do the types matter? Like, Jack, aren't you just sitting here like categorizing things in ways that don't really matter? And like, that's not really how people are in real life, right? Like, you're just talking at your ass, right? No, not even a little bit. This is critical to you. This is like somebody saying a car is a car, right? Like Maserati, Toyota, it's basically the same thing, right? Like, no, they're not. They're absolutely not. So you need to understand the types. And one of the reasons that understanding them is so important is because your attraction to girls, like which types of girls you're attracted to, also needs to line up with who is attracted to you. And right now, if this is your first time learning about the types, then you're probably saying like, well, I can't see any pattern there. I'm not seeing the connection. Sometimes I'm really into girls and they're not into me, but sometimes girls are really into me and I'm not into them. Okay, cool. That's normal if you don't know about the types. But as soon as you know about the types, and as soon as you start applying this knowledge, then what you're going to find is that you start to match up correctly with the types that you want. If it gets from point A to point B, Coot, get the hell out of here, man. Like, if it gets you from point A to point B, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. If that's what you want, might I recommend type 15, the prostitute. Save yourself the time, energy, and heartache of all of the relationship bullshit that I've had to go through, right? No, in all seriousness, look, if you actually want a real relationship in your life, then this is your key to getting there. Because it's going to start matching you to the right girls for you. Not just a girl, or not just somebody who happened to be in a desperate or vulnerable situation and said, you'll do. Not somebody who's trying to take advantage of you and you have no idea about it, right? Just hoping for luck and hoping for fate and saying something like, oh, well, the universe will give it to me if I want it enough. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's true. And you're going to end up getting stuck in those relationships that end up getting divorce raped, that the 50% of failed relationships, right? Like, those are the dudes who relied on luck. So careful with that. You're literally flipping a coin for half of your income for the rest of your life. Or you can learn about the types today and actually start meeting the right types of girls. Because if you learn about the types, this actually repels the wrong types of girls. Once you understand how to build your system, which we talked about 3-4 weeks ago, it's in the live streams. It's there, right? Look back 3 or 4 weeks and you'll find the one that's, I think it's titled like How to Attract Any Type of Woman or something like that. And that's all about how to build out your system. And once you build out your system, which you already have a system right now, it's just really, really, really poorly calibrated. So back to the car analogy, you're basically like driving around in like a Lego car or something, where technically there are parts there are wheels, there is a chassis, right? But none of it actually works. None of it makes sense. That's how most guys go through life. Your system is essentially what version of you are you showing to the world? Honestly, it's the attitudes of many new guys that join the Discord that any girl will do. I know. I can't figure out how to communicate to them how incredibly important it is to figure out the types. So what I do is I let them learn by experience, but we have a social safety net there for them so that once they learn by fucking up, trial by fire, then it's like, okay, cool. Now that you've learned that, are you ready to actually listen to me? Are you ready to actually pay attention, right? Because we have all of the information here, right? Everything is here for you. So all you have to do is pay attention. You learn how to build out your system, and your system is going to be built to attract the right types of girls and, more importantly, repel the wrong types of girls. So, for example, when I was looking for a serious relationship, when I was trying to meet my now wife, my system and the way that I was congruent to myself literally repelled all of these types. The sluts, the alcoholics, the attention whores, they wanted nothing to do with me. They found me entirely repellent. But 3 years earlier, when I was focused on meeting girls for short-term relationships, those same girls loved me. Why is that? Is it because I immediately changed everything about myself, my looks, my appearance? No, it's none of that stuff. None of that got any better or worse, thankfully. But it's all just the same. It's about how you present yourself, the system that you show yourself as, and it's going to attract some girls or repel them. Every behavior attracts or repels somebody. So you have to figure out how to do that. And to do that, you have to understand the different types. Next up, you have to identify your ideal relationship. This is absolutely critical. Hard question. Do chicken dance if you don't answer. What type is your wife? I'll do the chicken dance anyway, but not while I'm in the middle of the stream. However, my wife she's a mix between a shy girl and a worker bee. But anyway, in identifying your ideal relationship, this is a very important part because that's literally how I categorize them, was for the different types of relationships. You have to identify what type of relationship it is that you want, not just long-term or short-term, but like in the case of the gold digger and the materialist, do you want a relationship that's more transactional in nature? In the case of the worker bee, do you want a relationship that's more like low maintenance, kind of hands off, like almost a roommates who bang kind of situation? Or are you looking for somebody who's really attached to you, very codependent? Maybe you like a friend, maybe you like a shy girl who really needs a lot more attention and a lot more leadership. You need to figure out exactly, Simba, okay. Welcome. So you need to figure out exactly what type of relationship it is that you're looking for. Okay, come here. Come here. You want to come say hi? Come say hi, Simba. Simba says hello. Hello, world. Thank you, buddy. All right, I'm going to put you down now. So to figure out what kind of relationship it is you're looking for, this is why age and experience matter a lot. And I mean for you. Because as Coot pointed out, a lot of the guys who are new to the community, they're new to the Discord, they come in and they're like, anything, would somebody please just touch my willy, right? And like, okay, you can't teach them that that's not the end goal, that's not the point, until they have been there. And then they're like, oh, right. But then what happens next, right? Okay, all right, cool. So the younger you are, the more you're probably going to be looking for a short-term relationship. But the older or just the more experienced you are, the more that you understand yourself and the types of girls you're looking for and what kind of relationship you actually want, the more you're going to be looking into the long-term relationships. So keep that in mind and understand, and this is very important, that it's okay to change your mind. right? If you're 26, you're 27 right now, and you're thinking like, I don't know, Jack, like I feel like I should be trying to find a serious girlfriend, should be looking for something serious, but actually I just want to stick my dick in everything that moves. Okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. You should definitely be honest with yourself. You need to be honest. You cannot lie to yourself. If you are still in your sowing your wild oats phase, if that's where you are, if you're in your hoe phase right now, don't try to have a serious long-term relationship. You're just going to end up throwing heartbreak into the dating pool. Don't do it. Save yourself the time, the effort, the energy, and just hang out with the girls who are good for short-term relationships, who also want that same thing, who are interested in that same thing. If you want, you technically can find these girls for short-term relationships, but it really is damaging to not just the girl, but also to the wider dating market and to you, because it's going to create trauma in your life, in her life, and it's not worth it. Instead, if you're still just looking for hookups and short-term relationships, stick with the short-term relationship girls. There's nothing wrong with that. And then once you're ready to actually put your dick holster on, then get a serious relationship. That's fine. You can change your mind over time, but you need to be honest with yourself right now about where you are and what it is that you're looking for. And yes, Coot Simba is very fluffy for winter. Next up, finding your right type. How exactly? Okay, Jack, so I understand, right? I get it. I saw you talk about the types. I understand why they matter. I know what kind of relationship it is I'm looking for. Now, how do I actually meet her? Good question. Here's what you do. First, you learn about the types, because my quick 30 to 60-second descriptions about these are not enough. Now, the good news is that you can learn about it completely for free. All you need to do is click the link at the top of the description below this, and you can get your totally free ebook about the 14 types method right now with no waiting, no hassle, and you can start learning about the 14 different types immediately. Once you understand who they are, once you get who they are on a deep level, on a psychological level, you'll understand much better about where to actually find them, right? Because if you're looking for a prude, you're not going to look in the nightclubs. And if you're looking for a slut, you're not going to be looking in the local book club, right? So you need to figure out who you're looking for, because once you actually decide on your target audience, on who you're trying to meet, the rest almost becomes self-evident, doesn't it? So this is the first thing you need to do. You need to learn the types. Now, the next thing you need to do, and this is the hardest one for a lot of people, is you need to choose the best type for you. Not necessarily your favorite, right? Not the one that you're ogling all day and you're like, oh, I want her to give me kisses. No, not that. The one who's actually the right match for you. This is why it's so important for you to be honest with yourself. Be honest about what it is that you want. Be honest about what it is that you bring to the table. Be honest about your system that you're building out. Understand what that is, who that's going to attract. And you want to do that in a way that's going to attract them for the type of relationship you want. So if you can be congruent and be just looking for short-term relationship girls, then do that. But if you find yourself in a situation where every time you talk to a girl, they're like, oh, you give off boyfriend vibes, then you're probably trying to attract the wrong types of girls here. Same thing if you're trying to attract serious long-term girls and they always say like, oh, you give off fuckboy vibes or something like that. Okay, cool. Your system is not matching. You might think that you want something, but it might not be the best girl for you. Or you might have just designed your system completely wrong. And if that's the case, if you find yourself in one of these situations, something like this, or if it seems like everything that you're trying just doesn't work, then what you need to do is you need to go over to realjacknorth.com right now. There's a button that says book your call, and you can get a free one-on-one call with me where I will help you to figure out which type is best for you, what you're doing right or wrong in your system, and what you can do to change that and turn your dating life around. But the last thing you need to do is apply and adjust your system. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. You need to be out there, be as congruent, be as honest as you can, use your system correctly, and then as you're talking to these girls, use the feedback that you're getting, adjust. Like I said, if you're looking for long-term relationships and they keep saying you look like a fuckboy, you act like a fuckboy, cool. That's really good feedback. That's giving you a better idea of what you're doing right or wrong. So use all of this stuff, apply and adjust your system. And if you follow this, if you get your free guide down below, and if you sign up for a free call with me, again, it's completely free. Use the resources you have available to you while you still can, because I'm getting busier and busier every day. So use this now. If you haven't signed up for one yet, seriously, you need to quickly. But if you do all this stuff, not only will you know which type is right for you, but you'll have a clear game plan, a clear course of action charted for you for, okay, cool. Here's where I am now. Here's what I need to do so that I can get to here, the end result, which is the relationship of my choosing with the type of girl who I want, who is also the best fit for me. Whew. Man, that was a lot. Okay, now, as fun as that was, it is now time for us to move into everybody's favorite part of the live stream. It's the live Q&A. So let's go ahead and bring in Julius. Julius, are you there, buddy? All right, let's bring him in.
Hey.
Awesome. How are you, big guy?
Good. Just had an amazing Korean barbecue dinner today. So
nice.
Full belly, warm, nice room. I'm happy.
Good. All right, here you go, Simba. Now you can come and go if you want. All right, I'm gonna bring our other camera down here and go get set up in the Papa Jack chair.
Oh, I do.
Move us down here. There we are. I need a drink.
Yeah.
I do. I have a drink. Hey, coincidence that. Look.
What a coincidence.
Look at that. We have another friend. Tay.
What up?
Joining us for today's Q&A. What's up, big guy?
What's up, broski?
Just finished dinner. Got a beer cracked, so figure might as well hop on in.
Nice.
Good. Oh, my shitty phone stand is okay. Good. We've been having some tech issues. I was trying to use previously. I was using my phone as a camera, like a webcam, connected to the computer via Wi-Fi, and that works great when we're on stream. But the recordings were always like really glitchy, and like the audio would get unsynced and all sorts of weird stuff. So now I'm just having to record it straight onto the phone, and you guys will just be heard but not seen during the replay versions on the inside. So, anyhow, let's jump into today's
Q&A. Don't be hanging on the Niner shirt, Coot. We're playing the Eagles this weekend. It's an important game. Got to represent.
Listen to this guy. There is no represent with San Francisco. Your mascot may as well just be a huge pile of shit on the sidewalk.
Actually, they cleaned all that up. The Chinese
only when the Chinese president came.
Yeah.
And then they immediately brought all the homeless back down from Oakland. And they're like, oh, all right, you're free to go now. Welcome back to ruining our city. Here.
Oh,
crazy.
Did it in minutes, like record time a day. I was like, what?
You know what's actually mind-blowing about that is that means that the government of San Francisco cares more about what China thinks of them than what their own people think of them. Like, true. That should raise some red flags.
Yeah, no shit.
But anyway, let's not get too deep into the politics here. Julius, you got some questions for us today, right?
I do. Let me pull them right up.
Sure thing, bud.
Question 1. What is everyone's favorite types on the panel and why?
Julius, how about you go first? Actually, you know what? Tay, since you're newest to this.
Yeah.
Gut reaction, first instinct, what do you think is your favorite type?
From the 14 types?
Yeah.
It's funny. You were saying like, look at them and see like, oh, I think I might like this. But then the more you test it out, you're like, oh, maybe I don't. Because for a long time, I thought prude was like right up my alley because I'm like, I grew up like going to church and stuff like that. But the more I talk to them, the more that kind of gets annoying. Um, like I feel like it should work, but it doesn't. So I don't know. I think it's more like shy girl or worker bee, maybe right now. Yeah, most of the girls I'm talking to kind of fall more into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Shy girls and worker bees. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan, right? Like I said earlier, that's basically my wife, right? How about you, Jujubee?
Man, I would have to say worker bees, only because I guess have so much balance to them. I think
Yeah.
the prudes are too much teaching. I don't want to teach, right?
Mhm.
They have like the sluts and all that stuff. Like that's fine if you're in college or just looking to get your dick wet at a bar, but long term and such, being the older, wiser men that we are, the worker
Or at
bees.
least older.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Speak for
older.
yourself, Julius. Okay.
I'm not too different. Yeah, worker bee it is for me.
Yeah. I mean, I like those.
I mean,
Based solely on my dating history and nothing else, based solely on my dating history, it would be honest to say I am most attracted to the crazed lovers because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I like the up and down, I like the fun, I like the roller coaster ride because as low as the lows can be, the highs are also that much higher. And so it can be kind of destabilizing for a long-term relationship, but for just like, oh man, we're just gonna have a blast, and then it's gonna explode in just a massive Hiroshima style ball of fire. But
oh yeah,
until then,
those things
imagine the
like
ride.
the passion is insane.
Yeah,
Right, the
it's like
sex is
skydiving
crazy.
without a parachute, right?
Yeah,
Where
it's
you're
like
just like, oh,
the
best
rush.
time of my life. Gonna
Yeah,
flatten,
it's like,
but like,
you know that feeling you get where it's like super excited, when you're first about to do it. That's like what it is with these girls. But
but
they
almost
fizzle out
every
really
day
quick.
because you never know.
Yeah. They fizzle out just super quickly. And I've dated one of those before. And holy Jesus. Amazing times. But when it was bad, it was bad. It was like she would bring out the worst in me. I was
Yeah,
like, I don't like this person you're making me become. I'm out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And for those of you who are already inside of my course, and for those of you who have just been around forever, like Julius, I know you've seen it, and Tay, you have it as well. But I wrote an ebook years ago about like really detailing and analyzing my relationship with a crazed lover, and it's a wild ride of a story. Like it culminates in her trying to stab me, and that's not even the weirdest part of the story. Like, so it's definitely a bit of a wild ride, but it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see here. What did Crow say? Crow asked the question. Can you put that up for me?
Sure.
Before that, yeah.
This is one, right?
That we can read that one as well. But yeah, had my fair share of crazed lovers and barely lived to tell the tales. My friends used to joke that I was going to wake up in a bathtub without a kidney, yeah, or without a penis, right? Like this is your like Lorena Bobbitt type. Have you ever thought about making types of guys and matching them to the 14 types? The thought has crossed my mind. I actually have thought about it, but this is gonna sound way worse than it actually is. The reality is that men will adapt to whatever their environment demands. And so, and I'm not entirely sure that most women can do this, but men will absolutely adapt. So if you, for example, if you move to Korea, then Even if you've never thought about dating Asian girls before in your life, all of a sudden you technically become a foreigner lover, right? And it's more just about adaptation to whatever your situation is. I'm not sure that men are quite as constricted by their backgrounds, although there definitely are styles that would carry through. So maybe it is worth coming up with types of guys, but it's less about personality or what they show and more about how they go through it, right? Because I might be classified as a clown type or something like that because I'm always so just like high energy and joking and I never take anything seriously. So maybe that would be a type of guy. I don't know. Crow, you know what? Maybe you and I and Julius can sit down one day and see if we can come up with a list of types of guys and see how they would match up. But
I think there's like a simp. You know, that's a simp.
But,
I mean, that's all that really comes to mind, right?
Sure, but like even for the most part, simps can be reformed, right? Like once they learn that, like, oh, it's not just that girls don't respond to money, and then like guys tend to respond better to new information and then changing their behavior. Whereas, I mean, not always, right? Because again, there's going to be the alcoholic type in men as well, where it's like, yeah, nothing in the world is going to make me stop and reflect on my own actions. So I don't know. I obviously haven't given it that much thought if I'm waffling this much on it. But yeah, we can sit down one day and talk through some of this stuff, see what we come up with. All right. Well, let's see. Julius, what's our next question?
Our next question is, after you hook up and start. Hold on a minute. Okay, so sorry, I went ahead. Number 2, if you start dating a girl, and let's say she's got qualities of one type you like, but qualities of another type you dislike, say worker bee mixed with alcoholic, and you like to see her become less of an alcoholic, how malleable are girls, or do you need to start from scratch?
No, you don't need to start from scratch. Like that's that. I mean, also that's impossible, right? Unless you're going like the grooming route or something, right? Like that's not a thing, right? Honestly, it comes down to incentives and rewards, right? Whatever, if you want to change something, you need to figure out how to reward the right things. You create the right incentives. So for a worker bee mixed with an alcoholic, if you want her to it depends on what behaviors you're trying to change though. Like, are you trying to get her to stop drinking, or are you trying to get her to stop partying, or are you trying to get her to stop partying without you, or are you trying to get her to stop partying with the bad girls that are her friends? Like, what is exactly the behavior that you're trying to change? And then you just figure out how to incentivize the opposite of that. You can't just create a vacuum. You can't tell her stop drinking or stop going out, because that creates a vacuum. You have to fill that with something. It's the same way that like when smokers want to quit smoking, they start chewing gum or they start eating gummy bears every time that they have a craving, right? Why do you like worker bees so much? Let's come back to that in a little bit. But it really depends on what behaviors you're trying to change, and then you figure out how to incentivize something else over that thing. I don't know. What do you think, Julius? I may be being too professory with this.
Yeah, I mean, it is your profession, right? But honestly, like, I have dated a mixture of the worker being the alcoholic. She was Japanese. I don't know if Jack, you ever met her? Yeah, you did. You did. Yeah, remember when I brought all those Japanese that one time? She was straight up alcoholic. Now, she was a highly functioning one, so she could do her work. She could walk her dog, do all that stuff she needed. We could date, we could eat, we could go out. She could whatever, but there was nothing that could get in the way of her alcohol, right? And whenever I would meet her, it was always drink a lot, right? And so I went from trying to be like, oh, okay, maybe I could just figure this one out and change it a bit to, whoa, now I'm drinking 3-4 times a week. And yeah, I don't know if I could do this much longer. And so of course we ended up parting our ways because especially with her, she was already like in her mid 30s. And if she's drinking that much and she's still in her mid 30s, that's, you know, that's a lost cause. There's not much hope there in trying to change her from that unless, you know, you get her pregnant or something. But yeah, I was just kind of like, she's
even then, that's a coin flip, isn't it? Right?
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to deal with that for the rest of my life. Because even if she stops drinking, right, you know, she's going to continue after having the kid. That's not going to stop. And I don't want to put up with that for the rest of my life. So, yeah, sometimes it depends on what you're willing to put up with. I wasn't willing to put up with alcoholism because I'm not an alcoholic, but I was drinking a lot more. So I didn't want to become an alcoholic, right?
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Like, I was born this way.
Dude, you've met my parents. Wait, have
no,
you?
I've spoken to them.
Oh, you've spoken to them, right? Like anybody who meets my parents, they're like, oh, right. You never stood a chance. Like you could not have turned out any way other than this.
Of course, Jack is your son, kind of thing.
Yeah, like this is the most obvious progression in the world. What do you think, Tay-Tay?
Well, I was gonna share a quick story. So like they were talking about like a good type and like a bad type. I dated a girl that ended up being like 2 bad types. So she was kind of a crazed lover and an alcoholic. And like she, like we were saying earlier, like she was super fun. Like she'd be like, come over, and she'd like cook me my favorite meal and stuff like that. And then like one day I was like, what's your, like, if you could just take a day, what would be your perfect day? And she's like, oh, like rent a hotel room, just order in food all day and just kind of chill. And so we did that. But then like she got like way too drunk, and like I'm sitting there just like laying down relaxing, and then just out of fucking nowhere she just swings as hard as she can and punches me like right in the gut. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh shit.
Yeah, and like that was pretty much the end of
that. Nope. Yeah. I didn't get physical abuse, but I remember my Japanese ex, she was extreme, like super jealous, extreme jealousy. So she would like set up these situations in her head that only made sense to her. She's like, hey, what do you think of that girl over there? I was like, nothing special to me. She's like, do you think she has big boobs? I'm like, yeah, I guess. And she's like, why do you think her boobs are big? I'm like, you asked. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like looking for a reason to be upset.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you trying to, why are you asking me about boobs anyway? Hold on, we got something here.
Worker bees. Oh yeah. So Coot asked why you like worker bees so much, and Crow says worker bees let you do other things. You don't need to be constantly devoting your free time to them. You're allowed to have other hobbies and passions. Yeah, absolutely. That's a
very good point.
It is, and it's one of the best aspects of worker bees is that they have so much going on that they don't need you all the time, and so. If you are a busy dude, or if you are just also, you're a very low maintenance person, and like you just don't want somebody who's just on there all the time, worker bees are great options. And so like, so for you, Tay-Tay, where it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, listen, I'm just going to spend the next 5 hours playing this game and like recording some footage and stuff. Then worker bees would be like, oh, okay, cool. And then they do their own thing because they're used to working independently and finding ways to stay entertained, to keep things going. Like it's a really good setup as long as you aren't a needy guy. Now they're terrible if you're needy because they have no time for you. And they won't be the ones that are coming over to like cook you your favorite meal. They're the ones who are like, oh no, listen, like I have every delivery app installed on my phone, but it doesn't matter because I can afford them all, right? So it's trade-offs, and for every guy, it's different, right? They're also very low drama. So if you want somebody who's going to bring that up and down, if you want somebody who's going to keep things exciting, somebody who's going to be adventurous and try new things, then the worker bee is not for you. If you want someone who's interested in being extremely adventurous, maybe in their personal life or in the bedroom. Scheduling with them is a pain too. Yeah, of course. They follow your lead. Yes, but yes, but you're always second to whatever the work is.
What I like about the worker bee is that they always have something going on. So you don't have to spend every waking moment with this person. So the good thing is like, for instance, I don't know if you remember my ex from Samsung Biologics.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and she was the worker bee of worker bees, right? And she would send me her entire monthly schedule ahead of time. I never asked for it. She just sent it to me. And I was like, I remember one time she sent it to me. I was like, cool. All right. What do you want me to say about your schedule? And anyway, with that, she was just letting me know this is what I'm going to do. And what is it? So it's cool if I see my friends or colleagues or go on these meetings where I'm like, yeah, no problem. No, yeah, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
We'll meet, whatever. And she was like super happy and thankful and grateful for this. And so when we'd spend time together, it would be great because we wouldn't be sick of each other. And then, of course, she'd be super happy that I wouldn't be the controlling psycho jealous type that wouldn't let her have time with her colleagues who happen to be male or female. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Worker bees are the best. Good balance.
And they're the best for guys like that, right? If you're a very jealous or controlling guy, worker bees are not for you at all.
Yeah,
they're not for you at all.
Yeah, it'll be a regular
thing. You want a prude or a shy girl.
Yeah, like the boss will take them out for dinner and it'll be like a guy. Like I'm not a jealous guy, but like, oh yeah, cool, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, but exactly. Like a jealous guy will pick her up and be mad about it afterwards. I saw that actually at my Hueshik a month or so ago. The boyfriend came from 2 hours away to pick her up because we guys were there drinking.
There were guys there.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Of course they broke up. I was like, yeah. I mean, you're a fucking psycho.
Right, of course.
Yeah, you reek of insecurity. I could smell it from here, you dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, she was really sexy, so I don't blame him, but it's not my fault. Hey, why are you dating someone really hot if you're gonna get jealous all the time, you fucking idiot?
But like, it's just like, and she just based on the fact that she was really hot, she might have been like a worker bee and an attention whore type, right? Where it's like you can't be jealous and date the girls who every guy wants to talk to.
Yeah, it's like driving a Ferrari and getting mad that people look at it. Like, I mean, you know, why are you driving in the first place, son? You idiot. So
exactly.
So let me ask you about this because, like, I don't know, maybe this is just my experience, but like, I find that like when you come up with like and you plan something, you come up with a good idea. Like, there's this girl I've been kind of talking to and seeing, and like when I suggest something, she gets like really excited about it. And I'm like, it's a pretty good idea, but like compared to most of the other types, like I don't think they would get as excited. So like, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but like, do you notice that they're easier to get excited, I guess? If I'm asking that right.
So you're probably, and actually I think I know who you're talking about. This is just probably somebody who doesn't have a ton of experience. And what experience they do have is with Korean dudes who are like, oh, no. Dinner and a movie is like, that's the date. That's the thing that we do. We go to dinner and a movie. And then maybe if they're feeling really creative, they're like, we're going to drive an hour away and go to the beach. And then we're going to go to dinner and a movie. Right? We're like,
it's true. It's fucking true.
So if you're offering literally anything else, then it's like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, cool. Yeah. Right? I haven't been bowling since middle school. That's a great idea, or whatever, right? It doesn't even have to be anything that amazing, but
it's just something different.
Something different.
Something different. Like you could shit. You could do anything. You could be like, hey, let's check out this this old printing press area where they converted a warehouse into a craft beer place. They got a really cool Instagrammable part. Everybody wins. You could take your stupid fucking pictures, and I could, drink my beer. Everybody wins, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah. Or anything that's just off the beaten path. Or suggest to them, there's this cool Korean Mexican fusion place in Itaewon. It's right next to a sex shop too.
Yeah, or a concert for a singer or a band that she's never heard of. Like, oh, let's go see the Scat Man in concert or some wild shit, you know?
Yeah.
Beat up, you know? Like,
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that guy's dead, but
Well, you know what's a
he's
good
cool,
one?
though.
Making your own fucking pizza. And you know, it's just like to us it's childish stuff, but like to them it's like, how do they
Yeah,
even
like
think of it?
it's like with this girl, like I was telling her, I was like, "Ooh, so I know about this bar. It's a speakeasy," and I'm like, "So I got an idea. We're gonna go to a bar, but I'm not gonna tell you where it is because it's a secret. If you don't know how to find it, you're never gonna find it." She's like, "Ooh, okay." And then I was telling her more about it, and she had to go to Japan for a week, and she's like, "Man, I really don't want to go to Japan because I want to go to this bar with you." So I'm like, "Okay." I got her hooked, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think like what you guys are saying kind of matches
Yeah,
up. It's
yeah,
not
sure.
anything
It's a
super crazy.
we're in a culture of like mass conformity, right? It's all about fitting in, not breaking from the norm, from the standard, which is dinner and a movie, or let's drive 1 hour away, walk around the beach in the winter, not get in the water, obviously, in our suits, and then dinner movie there.
Yeah.
So like when we come up with these ideas, you know, it really just kind of they go like, well, I wasn't expecting that. This is a lot more fun.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jack, this may only apply to us because we're in Korea, but like I've noticed that being like very like upfront and a little bit more like being a leader, like they respond really fast. And like there was this one girl, I'm like, "Hey, you and me tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Here's the place. I'll see you then." And like later, she was like, "I was so surprised that you were like that bold." And I'm like, I guess that's bog standard for Americans because like that's just how it is,
Mm-hmm.
but an advantage for us.
Of course. Oh yeah.
It's a very
Oh,
big
yes,
thing.
we got something here.
Yeah.
We got a live one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and look at Coot's comment. Could you bring that up for me?
Yeah, I just got it. Do you not see it?
No, I see it. Can you click on it though?
Are you there? Hello.
I met a few weeks ago got, I guess, a message from her boss and left the date 45 minutes in. I told her I'd block her if she did it and crossed the street after saying "Annyeong." Okay, good. I like that. I like that. Yeah, sorry, Kate. That was just me. My computer is, to be fair to my poor fucking computer, I've got about 45 tabs open for all my work stuff. So
wait, so can we clarify what Coot just said? I just had a really hard time figuring that out. So he blocked her.
He was saying he went on a date with a worker bee, and 45 minutes into their date, she got a message from her boss, I guess, saying, "Hey, come in quick, it's an emergency." And he said, "Well, look, if you walk out on our first date like this, then I'm out, right? Like this is just not a thing that's going to happen." You could just tell him like, "Hey, I'm busy. I'll talk to you tomorrow, or I'll get it done in the morning or whatever." But instead, she got up and she left the date. And so Coot just unyounged out of there. Just later. And like, good for you, man. Right?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, some people could be shitheads, you know.
Well, I think that this doesn't. I mean, yes, it exemplifies that some people can be shitheads, but more importantly, this is a really good example of something that I've talked about before. That's kind of hard for a lot of people to grasp and apply in reality, which is the idea of setting expectations and boundaries and then following through on them. Because it's actually quite important. If you say you're going to do something, never make a threat that you're not willing to follow through with, right? Like Julius, as a teacher, you absolutely know this to be true. If you say, "Listen, if you do this again, then this thing is going to happen," then when they do that thing again, you have to follow through on it. Right? You have to. So you never make a threat that you're not ready to follow through on. But also, you have to set reasonable and obvious and clear boundaries. If he had just said, "Fine, then I'm done here," without telling her, then that's not setting the boundaries. That's just saying, "Oh, you crossed my boundaries and now I'm mad about it," which is bullshit. So what Coot did here was exactly correct. He told her, "Okay, I totally get it. But if you do this, this is what I will do, right? So that we're clear. There's a clear cause and effect. You don't have to make this decision, but if you do make this decision, this is what's going to happen. And then when she did it, he followed through. And good for him. That's the correct thing to do. Because even though you might lose this girl, what that's going to do for you is that's going to reinforce in your mind, right, whenever I say something, I mean it. I'm a man of my word, and I'm a man who has clear expectations, and I know what I expect a girl to bring to the table because I know what I bring to the table. And I'm willing to walk away from something, even if I think that if I had been a little bit patient or like maybe this thing could have happened or whatever. No, it doesn't matter. If she crosses the boundaries that I set, this thing happens. And I think that that's really important to your mindset, your mentality, and to your overall confidence and swagger. That's the kind of stuff that gets you the big dick walk.
Next question.
Next question.
Let's see. Got it right here. All right, next one. After you hook up and start seeing a girl regularly, is there anything you guys look for to indicate if a girl is girlfriend material or just another fuck buddy? Talk.
Come on, man. I'm doing a Joe Biden here. Like, how many times have we gone through the green flags and red flags? But yeah, okay. If you're talking to a girl and, all right, here's an easy one. If you're talking to a girl, and this is especially true in Korea, if she doesn't answer you within like 3 or 4 hours, she's not interested. Now, there are some exceptions to this rule, like Julius, your girl who worked at Samsung Bio, right? When they go in to work, they have to turn their phones in, right? At a lot of these big companies where there's, a lot of NDAs and R&D and corporate espionage concerns and things like that. During the working hours, they may have to actually give their phones in. In situations like that, you know about that, hopefully, because you're paying attention, because the whole point of all of this, the types things and all this stuff is so that you actually understand her and where she's coming from. And so you know her, you know what's going on with her. And then if she doesn't message you, but then at 5:30, she answers back, then like, okay, cool. As soon as she got off work, then she checked her phone and she answered me. That's fine. But for the most part, right, for most normal jobs, for most normal gigs, for most girls, look, I don't know a girl who goes an hour and a half without checking her phone. I don't know one, right? They check all the time. And they might even have like a schedule of like every hour, on the hour, I check my phone or something like that. Who knows? But if she's not answering your messages quickly, she's not interested. This is especially true when it's not working hours, right? If it's, 7 o'clock and she's then taking 3 or 4 more hours to respond, she's doing something and it's not with you and she's not that interested. Girls who are interested in you, especially early on in the relationship, they're going to put forth that kind of effort. They're going to go out of their way because they're excited, because they're thinking about you, because you're on their mind. This is if you've done everything that I've taught you to do in our 91 free lessons so far. And so if you are the one who she remembers, like I taught you 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever that was, then she will be thinking about you. She will want to hear from you. And she'll be checking your phone. She'll be messaging you back. She'll be excited, actively excited, like Tay was saying, about the ideas that you have about hanging out together. She won't just say like, sounds good, see you then, right? Like she's going to be giving you energy because she has energy. But if she has no energy for you, she's not excited, right? She might go along with it, but if she has no energy, then it's just like you'll do, which might be okay for kind of a short-term fling or like a hookup or something like that, but that's not relationship material, right? What do you think, Tay? What are your green flags or red flags?
So, well, I was actually going to ask you a question because I feel like the last little like dial for me to turn before I feel like I have it kind of figured out is like knowing when to like go for it. And what I mean by that is like, is she into me? Is she not? Is it okay to go in for a kiss on the first? Like, is she into me enough to where if I kiss her, it's not weird? Because like, there was a girl we talked about her that I went on 2 dates with. Every single time she kept wanting to set up the next date, and everything was going good, but then out of nowhere just ghosted me, and she still hasn't replied. I have no clue what happened, and I'm
Mhm.
not worried about it. I'm like, all right, whatever, moving on. But um yeah, I think like you said, like energy is a big deal. Like you can definitely tell when one girl is excited or if she's in for some other reason. Like there's a girl right now that I'm talking to. I think she's only talking to me because she's a business owner and so am I. And I think she's just trying to get some like business tips out of me or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other girl, like I said, that there's a girl that I was telling Julius this, that she's like on a trip to Japan. She's like, oh, I wish I didn't have to go because I'd rather go hang out with you and stuff like that. So when she said stuff like, the girls don't just say that for fun, I don't think. I mean, you
Mhm.
tell me, but I feel like that's, you know, she's being honest there.
Yeah. To the last question, like sometimes they'll throw out things like this off the cuff and not actually think about it, right? Like this, it's quite common, right? Where because women especially, and like men too, but just to a slightly lesser extent, but women especially tend to be taken by flights of fancy. And so like they watched some travel vlog about Bora Bora, and now they're like, do you know what? Oh my God, like next summer, we should totally go to Bora Bora. And then like, okay, cool. Yeah, we definitely should. And then it's forgotten, right? I wouldn't worry too much about that. That it technically might be a feeler to see like, are you interested in something longer term? But it would be a mistake to in that moment say like, that's a great idea. Actually, let's start looking up flight tickets right now. Because then they'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You don't expect me to be accountable to my words, do you? What kind of
Like,
bullshit?
no, it's rhetorically speaking.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just talking, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't actually think that we were going to buy pink hats to walk around with. Somebody made that mistake. But to the first part of the question, which was about like this girl who was very excited and then ghosted. Did you push it? Like, did you try to kiss her? Did you try to keep pushing things?
Well, and that's again, that's my problem. I think the first, and I'm wondering if maybe this is why it happened, because I think on the first date I did, and then on the second date she kept saying like, "Oh my, I'm sick and I got a cold and whatever," and so I'm like, "All right, well," so I didn't as much, and so maybe that's why.
Possible.
Shit test.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Julius?
Shit test.
Yeah, it might have been.
Ah,
It might have just been like a. Let's be honest, man. If you're actually interested, a cold's not gonna stop you, right? Like she might have been gauging your interest level, or seeing like, oh my God, is he finally gonna take me home and fuck me or what? Right? Like because
I gotta say, I'm pretty bad at like knowing when the shit tests come up and then how to get over them. I'm very literal. I take everything at face value. So I'm like super bad at knowing like, oh, this is not what this is. I should stop and process this for a second.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of a cheat code here. In almost any situation, if you just double, triple, quintuple down on fucking everything, that will usually work. It will work far more often than it doesn't. And a fun lesson that I learned years ago is that any problem caused by audacity can be solved through more audacity, right? Like you say something ridiculous and then you double down on it. You go even harder to it. So let's say something like you say to a girl, you're like, oh, you know what? Actually, I have a really good idea. I've got a nice bottle of wine back at my place. How about we go ahead and catch a cab and we'll go back there and try this new wine together? And she says, oh, I'd love to, but like I have a cold. And then you just say something, you're like, oh, well, that's perfect because I'm immune to colds. Actually, fun fact, when I was a baby, my mom held me by my heel and dipped me into this magic water. And now I'm immune to everything, including and especially colds. But just don't breathe on my heel, okay? And you just keep going up and up, push back harder. Because, like I said, the reality is, if she had said the other thing, if she had said it to you, said like, hey, listen, I really want to go back and hook up, but I hope you're okay. I have a cold. Is that all right? Would that have stopped you?
Oh, no, of course not. Yeah.
Well, then why did it stop you when she said it otherwise?
That's a good question.
Okay, cool. So now you see what
you said, oh, cool. I have a cold too. See, we cancel each other out.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Hey, let's trade.
That's cool. Anyway,
virus strains. Which one do you have?
Good. So we don't need protection. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Colds don't stop anyone from doing anything.
Absolutely.
It doesn't stop me, whether I have it or she has it.
That's good to know, though, because like,
sure,
I'm so bad at that because like the whole night though, like she was laughing at everything, like it was going very well. Like if I went for it, I'm sure she wouldn't have cared. She would have been fine with it. But I don't.
It's like my situation in college where I was playing Super Mario World on my PC, and I had a girl laying down on the bed, angrily looking at me, and I was like, "Why is she mad? Is it because the game's not 2-player?" No, it's because you're playing Mario World and not fucking her.
Why is he giving
That's
me?
What you did. You played Mario World. Yep.
Yeah.
20-year-old me.
Yeah. So the good news, Tay, is that this might be hard to believe, but women know that men want sex. It's not a secret. Right. And so because they know that, they don't respect the men who don't try for it because they know in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, cool. So you want something. I know that you want it and you're not even going to try for it. Like, why? Like, am I not doing it for you or what? Women don't punish men for trying for sex. The same way I told the last sick girl that she'll give me Corona again. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. Double down on it. Look, women won't punish men for trying for sex. The same way that you won't punish a girl. Like you won't be angry at a girl if she asks you to pay for the date. Now, same thing. You might do it. You might not. She might say yes. She might not. But either way, she's not going to be mad at you for asking because men want sex. Women want resources. We know that. It's not a secret. It's not offensive. It's just part of human nature. So somebody who doesn't even try for it, you assume is not interested. The same way that like if you went on a date with a girl and at the end of the date, she's like, oh, no. I insist. I want to split this 50-50. Your assumption would be she's not interested in me, right?
Yeah.
Right. Same thing. If you're not trying for it, then she's like, I don't know. Maybe he just wants a friend or a Korean study buddy or whatever. But I'm looking to get railed. So, you know what I mean?
It's okay. We live and learn. We live and learn.
Yeah, like there will be plenty of opportunities and chances in the future.
Sure.
But this, as your rule of thumb, it's always double down and never back down, right? You're playing for keeps. You're going for gold. Who the fuck enters the Olympics to try and get the bronze medal, right? Like you're going to try and win it every single time. You might not. That doesn't matter. The success is the trying. It's the action.
Yeah, don't be afraid of being shot down. If you've made it that far and you make a move, the worst she'll say is, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it, or no, whatever. That's
or
fine.
just like,
Fine.
You know what? Not yet, right? Like maybe she'll say, look, I really like you, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Or maybe she'll say, like, you know what? I want to, but actually I'm on the rag right now, or something. Like anything. Tate, are you interested in those girls? Because if you don't,
You aren't, maybe you aren't.
You aren't kind of forcing it. It shows.
It should.
Yeah, like if you're like not really into it, but you're just like, let's just see what happens. You know what? That's actually a good point, Coots, because like this girl, the girl that I'm talking about, like her personality is like super fun. Like she was super fun to talk with, like really sarcastic. Like we could joke back and forth, but like looks wise, I was like, I could give or take. So if she was like smoking hot, I would have been like, oh, like fuck it, like let's go for it.
Yeah.
Jack's giving me a look though.
No, I am, because here's the thing is I've heard this 1,000 times before. This might surprise you. You're not my first client who's said something like this. Here's the reality. If you're not able to muster the gumption and the sack to ask a 6 home, you're not going to have the sack to ask a 9 home, right? So, like, it's a clear indication that there is a gap here that you need to cross. You need to get over that hump, over that gap into confident land. I can't type. Thank God there's 2 English teachers here to parse it. No fucking kidding, man.
Yeah, we had to bust out like the hieroglyphs and everything from like ancient the Rosetta Stone. I was like, what? Well, we understood you, Coot. Yeah. We're not laughing at English. We're just having a hard time piecing it together. I heard cave paintings in Spain were like, that's what he meant. They're hunting the bison over there.
Piecing it together.
I assume that Coot is drinking his straight. What was it? Was it like Rocky or Mezcal or some weird shit?
Yeah, Jesus, Coot.
I know.
Mexican than I am.
He was drinking it straight on the stream last week, where he was just like just straight out of the bottle, like fucking Sambuca or something. Grappa, thank you. I knew it was one of those licorice flavored asshole tasting drinks.
Ooh, from like the Nordic countries, those things. Ooh, weird. I don't know how you do it, Coot.
Exactly. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah. My ex was from Iceland, and I did not like any of those drinks.
Yep.
Let's see another one.
It's Italian. Is it really? Well, turns out that the Italians can make just as bad drinks as they can make prime ministers. So let's move on to the next question.
All right, number 4. Yeah. What's the best type of marriage or relationship? Which types are the most fun as a fuck buddy?
This is going to be so individual to every guy.
It is, yeah. It's whatever you like the best.
Yeah.
You know, then that's
and also who's a good match for you, right? Because like
we like worker bees, but you might like the crazy lover or something else.
Sure.
The alcoholic, the prude.
And here's the thing is that like I might love attention whores, right? Because like I am one myself. And it's like, no. I get you, right? I get it. I'm all about the attention. I like being in the spotlight. I like talking and being there and doing all this stuff. But I don't like this situation as a relationship. Julius, you've met at least one of my exes in the past who is very similar to me. Like we had a lot of commonalities, but that was a problem because in any given situation, there can only be one. It's like the Highlander, right? Yep. And so if one of you is an attention whore, and the other is also an attention whore, you're going to be constantly butting heads on that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
same way, if one of you is an extreme introvert and afraid of making decisions and afraid of conflict, and the other is also an extreme introvert and afraid of making decisions and afraid of conflict, then you might not be butting heads, but it's going to lead to a really shitty, miserable relationship. So you need to have some balance against yourself. So for those of you who have met Lady North, who have met my wife, right, like, you know that she and I are literally polar opposites. 0 degrees and 180 degrees, like absolute yin and yang. But we balance each other out well. And so finding somebody like that who also fits in with all of your other things, right? The types, the system, all of this stuff, these are basically mental models that help you better understand the world and better understand women and better understand relationships. But at the end of the day, the thing that actually matters is finding the girls who really mesh with you, where they're complementing you. And that's complement with an E, where you're black and white, where you're yin and yang. That's what you're actually looking for, is something that works well together, where you both shore up each other's weaknesses and you are amazed at each other's strengths.
Yeah, of course.
For hookups, though, same is great, right? Because, like, you can both be on exactly the same page and be like, hey, daiquiris, right? Like, where you're just already there and you're having fun, you're having a blast. The reality is that, like, your short-term girls, your flings, your 3-month or less relationships, all that stuff, that's just basically a buddy that you can also bang. And so it's not like a real relationship. It's like, I like you, you're fun. Oh, I like you too, you're fun. We don't compliment each other one bit, but we're going to have a great time while we're doing it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those fuck buddy, whatever hookups, they're, it's just purely physical, in my opinion. Like, just even like in the sense where it's just like you have this mutual infatuation and you don't even speak the same language, but
Sure.
you're functioning off of just pure instinct. It's really awesome. But that's obviously not someone you want to be in a long-term relationship with. You know?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's just attraction. That's all you're basing it off of, and that's it.
Yeah.
That could be fun though. There's like some magic
Yeah.
when that happens. Like I remember when I was working in Busan and there was this girl at a club. We just kind of locked eyes and we're like, all right, we know where this is going.
Right.
Oh, that's crazy. I just love those, like, where you just don't speak each other's languages. It's just crazy, but it's awesome at the same time too. Hold on, we got some comments here.
Okay, I'm interested in short-term relationships, but I like long-term relationship girls more. I was with a shy girl in a worker bee, and after 3 and 2 months, they're looking for something else and just left. Yeah, of course, because you tried to fit a long-term relationship girl into your short-term relationship paradigm. Like, that doesn't work, man. That doesn't work. You can't do that, right? It's the same way as, I don't know. I can't. Every analogy that comes into my mind.
Round hole, square peg.
Yeah, round hole, square peg. Yeah, but like, even more than that, it's like, look, if you,
I know one. Final Fantasy VII, putting the wrong material together. See,
pairing the wrong material.
There you go. You can't pair two summons together.
yeah, why would you do that?
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
Put all in a command one together on the attack on the weapon. Like, what is that going to do?
Right, but in all seriousness, like, Sabi, it sounds like the issue that you had was that you weren't honest with them, that you didn't tell them what it was from the get-go. And that's your fault. Like, I'm going to lay that on you, man. That's not on them. Because if you talk to it was a shy girl or a worker bee, right? If you talk to a shy girl or a worker bee early on and you're like, hey, this is great. Like, I really enjoy hanging out with you. Now, just so that we're clear and we're on the same page moving forward, right? Like, I don't have the time or the mental bandwidth right now for a serious relationship, but I really like hanging out with you 2 or 3 times a week like this. So I'd like to just keep this thing going, but I can't, like really like commit like a boyfriend or anything. Are you cool with that? Are we on the same page? If you tell them that from the beginning, if they're into you, most of them will say yes. Because you don't attract it? No, because do you want to attract this short-term relationship, girls? Right? Like, you said that you're only attracted to the LTR types, right? Okay, cool. Like, that's fine. But you need to be honest with them. You need to tell them what it is up front, because if you don't tell them, then they are going to just assume things, and then you end up working with covert contracts. They're assuming one thing, you're assuming another. None of it's clear to anybody, and then someone is going to get angry about it. Right? This is always going to be the situation. So you need to be honest with them, be upfront, tell them what it is, talk to them about it. That's the only thing you can do. Anything else it's dishonest, but it also ruins any chance of the thing that you want happening. So if you want your thing to happen, do that. Make sense?
Yep. Jack, you froze.
We can hear you, but you're just like,
I know.
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Computer bullshit, right? Buddy you can bang is such a great description for a lot of things that can be misconstrued as a good relationship. That is a very good point, Justin. Look, a lot of people think that, God, and I don't know why this happens. People talk about things like, oh, I married my best friend. I'm like, oh, fuck, why'd you do that? No. That's an awful idea. It's an awful idea, right? Like, you're going to become, first of all, codependent. And second of all, you're going to encourage each other's bad side. And neither of you is going to improve each other's good side, right? Like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? It's an awful idea. Right? Like, gender aside, I wouldn't ever marry Julius, because it's like, well, we just sit around all day playing video games and talking about video games and drinking. Like, we're just going to bring out the worst in each other because we have too much in common. And so don't do that, right? Short term, great. Awesome. Listen, y'all can hang out, you can go out, you can have drinks together, you can party, you can have laughs, you can go to concerts together, you can go to the beer fest together, you can bang it out afterwards. Like, wonderful, fantastic. But that's not an actual relationship. It's not. It's just a buddy you can bang, right?
Basically.
Hey there,
Joe. You do the last question?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Do girls change types over time? Like, if you start dating a university girl and you plan to date her long term, as she gets older and leaves college, is it expected of her to change, or do girls stay relatively the same type? I mean, I hope she doesn't stay as like a bar slut or anything like that, or whatever. Yeah. Girls do mature with time.
Right?
Yeah, go through phases, sure.
The husband hunter, by definition, has changed from something else to now being a husband hunter. So, yes, but not always. Again, a lot of this comes down to what we were saying earlier about what behavior are you rewarding? Like when Julius and I were talking about dealing with the alcoholics, and it's like, okay, but the alcoholic might change if you change the environment, the situation, but she might not if you keep rewarding that behavior. Here's actually a great example of exactly this thing. So, back during the Vietnam War, a lot of the military guys that had been sent over to Vietnam, they tried heroin and they got addicted to it, and like opium and just like general opiates, right? And they got really into a lot of that stuff over there. And so the government was super fucking worried that as soon as they brought them back, they would all still be addicted and still just like go hunting, right? But that didn't happen. Why not? Because the environment changed completely, because the incentive structure changed completely, because they were rewarded and I mean would have been punished for certain behaviors. Everything about it changed. So can people change? Yes, absolutely. Do people change? Yes, absolutely. But they don't change just on their own, like of their own accord. They change because the situation changes, or what they're being rewarded for changes, or what they're being punished for changes. So if you meet a girl who's in university and you like the type she is now, you like how things are going now, all you have to do is continue encouraging that same behavior. And then if you see her start to deviate from that, then pull her back into it, right? Or question the why as well, right? Figure out, is there something wrong? Is there some kind of gap or some kind of hole here? Is there something missing? But for the most part, people can either stay the same or change depending on their situation. All of these types are, for the most part, they're the state of a person at a point in time. And the assumption is this is the type of person they are at the time when you start dating them. It's totally possible for a worker bee who's working 60 hours a week now to have a plan in her mind like, well, yeah, I'm working 60 hours a week now so that in 10 years, I don't have to, right? Like, there's different situations. Did that like?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
You're
Yeah,
you're the founder of the 14 types, so you would know best.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, here's the guy who literally wrote them. So,
I wrote the book on it. Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of which, if you didn't get it yet, at the top of the YouTube description here, you can get a totally free guide to start learning about the 14 types immediately. No credit card, no questions. You just go there and you put in your email address, and here you get the book. It's completely free. So if you didn't do it yet, you should go down into the description right now and get this free guide so that you can better understand the different types, so that you don't get fooled by a slut who's pretending to be a husband hunter or something like that. You have to be careful, and that you don't get fooled in by the succubus, because that's happened to me before. You knew her, Julius, and you know what she did to my life. Like, you have to be very
and
careful.
it's been reported that she's still on Bumble and Tinder.
I have no doubt.
Yep.
Also, I have no cares either. Right? Like, hey,
Disgusting.
good for her.
She's still on my phone as the 4, and she will remain that way from here on out.
Perfect. Perfect.
Mm.
That's where she should be. So, do we have any more questions? Or Tay, do you have any questions before we wrap up for the evening?
Oh man, I got all kinds of questions, but we should. It's that time of night.
Hit us with one.
So I think my biggest problem, and it was kind of what we were talking about, is there's like this magical threshold for me in my mind where I'm like, I don't know if the girl likes me, and I don't know if I can make a move, but if I somehow do it, then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm past that magical barrier, and I know everything's fine, and I don't know when to cross that magical barrier, if that makes any sense. And if it's just, if you're feeling it and just go for it, like fuck it, like stop worrying about it. But to me, that is kind of always my biggest hesitation. I think that's where I messed up with that last girl. Scalzo was like, she's giving me the signs, but I don't know. She's giving me a shit test. I don't know.
Julius, I want you to field this one first while I grab myself a freshie.
Okay. So you're basically just trying to get over your mental blocks because
I guess
those
so, yeah.
mixed signals. Well, usually in those cases, like what kind of mixed signs was she giving you, for example?
Honestly, I don't think there's any mixed signs. I just think I need to sack up. It's honestly that's it.
Shut up, bitch.
Because like I said, most of the night so before we went out, she did say like, oh, like we originally planned to go to like Noribong, but she messaged me and she's like, oh, my throat's kind of hurting. And I was like, okay. And so she's like, let's just get dinner instead. I'm like, all right. And she was like being flirty and chatty and stuff, but then like she's like, oh, let's keep drinking. I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, well, I drove here, so let me drive us. I'll drive us somewhere. I'm like, all right, cool. And then like before we got to the car, she was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go home. So I don't know what happened in between those two things. And that I feel like that
Hey there,
time
Bruno.
frame was very short. So I don't know where or how I messed up, but she was like, yeah, let's keep drinking. And then
It
like
sounds-
within 15 minutes, she was like, actually, I'm just gonna go home.
But I think she just cannot make up her mind on anything. So she didn't want to go singing, but she went to go see you. Had dinner, wanted to go drink, but then she changed her mind again. And then went home and said like she just kept changing her mind like 500 times. So I honestly think that it's just her being an indecisive slut.
Okay.
That's it.
So
She doesn't even know what she wants.
counterpoint. What did you want?
I wanted to do Noribong. I thought that would have been fun, but
Okay, cool. So let me tell you a side story so that I can demonstrate exactly how you deal with something like this.
okay.
About 6 months ago or so, or maybe it was like 9 months ago, Coot was up visiting Seoul. And I told him I needed him to be able to talk for something. I don't remember if it was the boot camp weekend or something else. But I showed up and he had no voice. He had totally lost his voice the night before. And he's like, oh, Jack, I don't think that I can do it. I've totally lost my voice. And I was like, all right, cool. I totally understand you. Here, come here. And I brought him over to a cafe and I got him a yuja-cha. And I was like, cool, drink this. This will make you better. And then we're going to go ahead and do the thing that we'd already planned anyway. So nut up, because this is what we're doing. If the thing you wanted to do was Noribong, then what you could have done is you could have said, okay, cool. My audition for the acting gig. Yeah, thank you. Whenever it was, oh yeah, and I needed you to like read the lines back with me or something. Right. I remember. So either way though, like the end result is the same, which is, okay, cool. Here's your solution. Now that we fix that, you have an hour to get yourself sorted, and then we're doing the thing. Same thing here. If you wanted to, and by the way, what's up, Bruno? It's good to see you here. I'm not sure if we've met yet, but I have heard that we don't talk about Bruno. No, nobody? Okay. Anyway, so you have to just address the situation head on and be like, look, I was here to go to Noribong.
Bruno.
Here's the thing. Now, if you really actually think that you can't do it, I totally get it. You know what? I have a better idea. You're not feeling great. Your voice is kind of gone. Okay. Maybe Noribong's not the thing tonight. That's cool. Here's what we're going to do then instead. We're going to go to Plan B. Plan B looks very similar to Plan A when we're just drinking, but we're doing it somewhere else. Now, I know this great place. It's just about a 10-minute drive from here. And the DJ there, he always plays the songs that I love best. Do you know why that is? Because it's me. Let's pick up a bottle of wine. Let's pick up a bottle of vodka. Let's pick up something. And we're just going to go back to my place. That'll help your throat feel a little bit better. We're going to, we'll keep it low. We'll just have a nice, quiet conversation. tell you what, I'll even make you feel better by the way that it looks. I'll light a candle, right? And you'll feel like, oh, it's good, right? And you use that, but then you move it to like, okay, if you can't force plan A, then cool. I have an idea for plan B because you've canceled plan A, right? I feel like by listening to your story, the issue she had was that you had no opinion about anything. You were following her lead. That's never a good place to be. I mean, you were following her lead on the Nori bong because she suggested that. And like, okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that because she suggested it. She's excited for the date. I'm cool with that. But then when she got there, okay, well, I don't feel like doing plan A. So here's my suggestion for plan B. So here's what we're going to do next. So actually, I think I'm just going to go home because you were along for her ride. And she didn't want to be driving. She wanted to be the passenger. Does that make sense to your experience? Because I don't know, I wasn't there.
Yeah, yes and no. Because so for example, the first date, I had everything planned out. That was what I was saying. I'm like, hey, tomorrow you and me, we're going to this place this time. Wear a nice dress. Like, we're gonna do the thing. And she had a really good time. And literally in the middle of the date, she's like, I got a great idea. So this day I get off work early. Like, let's go do this. Like, should I be like, no, I don't like you just say yeah, sounds good, right? I mean, how do you respond to that? Like, if she's already suggesting the next date before the first one's over, don't you just roll with it?
No. I'm on board with that. Like, I like that, but okay. In a situation like that, you're in the middle of the first date and she's suggesting what to do on the next date, right? Then yes, you're on board with it, but you want to give her a little bit of pushback, right? Like, you want to give her a little bit. The same way that, if you walk into a Moroccan night market and you just always accept the first price that they give you because you're like, oh, well, but it's cheap for me and so it's great for them. It's like, oh, okay, so you're just a pushover, right? Like, they want a bit of that pushback. Like, they don't like that. They don't respect that. And so you give a little bit of pushback. Not like oh, well, I don't know. Not that, right? Because we're not pushing back on whether or not we want to do the thing. But what we might do is oh, brave of you to assume that you're going to earn a second date. Now, I'm curious, what is it that you think you're going to do tonight to earn that second date? Oh, shit. Oh, how the turntables, right? Like, you can play into it a little bit. You can play with her. It's a dance, and both people have to be part of the dance. You can't dance if one person goes fucking ragdoll, right? So you have to be an active participant, even when you like her idea. You have to play back and forth. Now, I know that might sound like this, oh, I don't want to play games, or I just want it to be normal and regular. It's like, man, this is normal and regular. If you say that, that means you just want her to be a dude. And if that's what you want, download Grindr, right? There are plenty of dudes. But in all seriousness, if you want to date women, you need to understand women, how it is that they work, what's going on in their head, what is it that they're actually looking for. She did want to go on that date with you. That's why she suggested it. That wasn't a shit test, right? And neither, from the sound of it, it sounds like none of the things she did individually were a shit test. But collectively, where you were just like, oh, yeah, that's cool, you can lead the way, then I imagine in her mind, she was thinking imagine how unbelievably passive this guy is going to be in bed, right? Like, is he going to starfish and just be like, okay, do your thing? Like, what? So you need to play, you need to push, you need to pull, you need to bring in that kind of like, not controlling, but that more masculine energy that gives her the room to be more feminine. If she's having to lead the dance, she can't be spinning herself, can she? Same kind of thing, right? Let her do her thing, but you still need to be running the show. If any of those analogies and those explanations make any sense at all, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will say that it is annoying that it has to be, like you said, a game or whatever you want to call it, because I guess it seemed natural. Like that first date, it felt like we like really hit it off, and so like we're like, oh, let's just go get dinner. Okay, cool. I mean, obviously, I'm here. I'm at where I'm at. Like, she like deleted our match on the dating app, and like she's like done. So then it's like, all right, fine, you know. So I did something wrong, or many things wrong along the way, where she's like, I just fuck it.
Yeah, well, and that's fine, because that's feedback, and that's very useful, right? Like, learning what doesn't work is just as important as learning what does work to the whole thing. It's just like anything in the world, right? Like, you run a YouTube channel, learning what thumbnails don't work is just as important as learning what thumbnails do work. And so it's not a matter of trying to get the perfect thumbnail every single time. It's a matter of, did you try the thing? Yes. Did I get feedback on it? Yes. And then the last and the most important question is, will I use that feedback to improve my whatever in the future? And if the answer is yes, then all of that was a success. Even if you didn't get what you were trying to get, it's still a success because you learned from it and you improved from it. That's literally life, right? That's not dating. That's not YouTube. That's not business. That's everything in the world, right? It's just seeing the feedback that's given to you and then applying it. And that's it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, really what it sounds like I need to do is just like, okay, she seems like she's into it, just like, let's go for it. If she's not into it, like, she'll tell me, or there's something wrong with her. Because like, I'm like, seriously, how often does like, because I'm not like totally stupid when it comes to like picking up on girl stuff, but like if she's giving signs like she's having a good time, and then like you try to go for it, and then she's like, whoa, 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 like that would be weird, right?
What if she does, right? Like, then what? Because this was actually something that I thought about earlier and I wanted to bring up, but we got sidetracked. If you're afraid of making the move, I get that, because I've been there before. Because in my mind, especially when I was younger, I used to think like, well, I don't want her to think that I'm here just for sex. And, oh, well, I don't want her to think that I'm one of those guys. And this is very common. But the more that you look into it, right, the more that you think about it, and you're like, wait, one of what guys? A guy who wants sex? But wait, that's all guys. It's literally every single one of them. That's why the human species exists at such a large scale, because literally every man is just like, right, only thing that matters to me, just want to pew pew pew, right? Like, that's it. So do I not want her to think that I'm a man? Because that's a dangerous thought, right? We don't want to be playing with that, especially not in 2023. And then the other thing is the idea of like, oh, well, I don't want her to think that I'm just here for sex. And it's like, well, wait, have we done other things? Have we had a good time? Have I been trying to have I been weird about it? Have I been like, hey, let's go to Noribong so that you can suck my dick while I sing a song? Right? Like, as long as you're not doing that, then it's like, oh, well, obviously you're not here just for sex, but also like every normal, fertile man, it's like that's the basis for pretty much everything that we do. Why do men work? Why do they earn paychecks? Why do they build buildings? Why do they create things? Because it's all just based on the mating instinct. So why try to pretend it's not?
Mm.
Like it's the same thing of like, why do women wear makeup? Do you think any girl shows up to a date with you thinking, oh, I hope that he doesn't think that I wore makeup tonight just so that he would think that I look prettier? It's like, well, but you did, right? Like that's it. That's part of the song and dance. That's just the expected part of it. You don't have to, but if you don't, we won't feel like you're doing your part, right? Like if a girl showed up to a date with you in just like in no makeup, in sweatpants, and like a gym t-shirt or something, you'd be
It
like,
happened to me once.
so when that happened, what was your first thought?
Fuck her. Like, not in the literal sense, more like,
Yeah,
this
like,
girl.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
you're not carrying your weight. You're not doing your part of the song and dance. Right. And so I get you, Tay Tay, that it can feel annoying that like there is a bit of a game to be played here, but the reality is that it's not playing games. It's not lying, it's not deceiving one another. It's just doing your part in the relationship, at least as it's expected. If you want to change the expectations, that's fine, but you also need to make that clear. Otherwise, the expectation is always the status quo, isn't it? So, right, like you can not like it all you want. It's the same that's the same argument as the people who are like, capitalism is evil because some people have money and people who work don't have any money. And it's like, okay, cool. Like you can complain if you want, but that's not going to change your situation, right? You can sit around and like grow dreadlocks and shit, but like nobody's going to listen to you. It doesn't matter because this is the system that exists and it's the system that works. So same thing here with the dating. We're like, might not be fair, might not be equal, might not be the same. Okay, cool. So fucking what?
At least you know the rules, right? Now it's like, okay, these are the rules. You can choose to follow them or not, but
you can adapt or you can die, or there is a third option of just like, no. I'm going to change the rules, but I have to say that, right? So if I say that, then that's fine, right? If you make your expectations clear, it doesn't mean that people will follow them, but at least then you're saying, no, this is exactly what I expect. This is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do. And that's okay. If that's something that you want to try to do, that's fine. You have to make those different expectations clear. If you tell her up front, you're like, by the way, listen, I just want to be a passive participant in this relationship. So I hope that you're cool with that. And if you're not, that's fine. I totally get it. But I kind of just want you to run everything. And like some girls might be into it. Not many, but some might. Right? You can do that. But you can't expect everybody to go along with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Julius has been quiet for a while. I'm curious if he's got any additional thoughts.
On this 20-minute thing from the dating professional. Yeah,
dating. I
know, right? Well, I do think that it is important to note that you have to make it. if she keeps making a lot of suggestions and all this shit, and you just kind of just roll with a bunch of stuff without kind of pushing back or saying what you want or making any suggestions, it's probably gonna come off as like a big turnoff. When she suggested going to the bar and driving somewhere, I'd been like, I ain't getting in no fucking car, especially if she went to your area. She went to your area, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Ugh. Oh, my dad, if I was Jesus, like, why would you do that? So what you should have done is told her, like, no, we're already here. We're not going anywhere.
And you've been drinking.
Yeah, and you've been drinking. I don't drink and drive. So you should have told her, let's stay here. Let's do this. I think that was also another shit test, and you failed because she was expecting you to go, oh, no, let's do something nearby. I don't want you to drink and drive. That's dangerous, whatever. And she was literally going, what's going to happen if he does this? Oh, he's letting me drink and drive. Oh, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, women like to play a lot of games, a lot. Some of them are overt, like the French chick, Jack knew, my friend.
I remember.
Whew. She played a lot of games, and I was just like, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't care how hard you are. No. Other girls, they just want to test you. She's extremely hot. Other girls just want to test you, and she was clearly testing you. Not playing too many games, but yeah. So I unfortunately think you failed that test miserably. Also making moves, but yeah, just don't be afraid to be like, yeah, that idea kind of sucks. I like this place better. It's a little bit of a walk, and I don't trust your driving skills because you're drinking. Tell you're a member of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So just yeah, don't be afraid to show some teeth. Be firm, and don't be an asshole. But just be like, hey, yeah, no, actually, my idea is better. Let's do it. That's it. But
let me go ahead and mansplain something to you right here. I'm right.
Actually, Jin, so he's bringing up a good point. Yeah.
That's Justin, by the way. Tay, was it just because you weren't that interested in her? That's why you didn't come up with reasons to make her stay. I do think that that's a really good point of like, look, if she were a 9,
was she worth the effort?
Away.
Was she worth the effort? Or you just kind of like, I'm going to see what happens?
I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, that's more where it was. I'm like, oh, she's like kind of cute, and we're like having a good time. Like, I could give or take this,
Mm.
Well, look, I mean,
letting her drive away, like literally.
Well, what was weird is like we got back in the car, and like we were like near my house, but not like it would have been like a 20-minute walk for me. So she like drove me back actually.
And you still didn't get to convince her otherwise to be like, hey,
this is sounding worse the more we're talking about it.
She gave you a chance when she drove you back.
Yeah.
So you could I was in a situation like that once back in Yosan. And the girl drove me back. She's like, I don't know if I should stay or if I should go. I'm like, come with me and I'll show you a good time. And you can go back home and do nothing. But or you're already here, you're gonna drive back 50 minutes to your house, or you could just stay here with me. And I got out of the car and I was like, I'm gonna play the waiting game. Waited 5 minutes, messaged her, and then of course she came. Right. So because she's wanting you to put in the effort, right? You have to show that she's worth your time and that you're willing to invest in it. If she drove you back, it was kind of like last chance, and sorry, Tata, you blew it.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm glad you guys are here to point it out. Good learning opportunity. It's like, it's fine.
It happens. It happens to a lot of people. It's just
happens to everybody, man.
Everybody. But sometimes you just got to be a little firm and be like, look, this is what I want to do. Look, this is what's going to happen. Hey, let's not drink and drive. Just park your car near mine. We'll go somewhere nearby. I know a good place.
Dude, okay. To help you feel a little bit better about this.
I don't feel bad at all. I mean, I know we're streaming and everything, but I'm like, it feels like more enlightening. I mean, like, I feel dumb, but it's like, okay, good. Now I know what to do next time.
So here's one. This is a true story of in my first year in Korea. So I was young, dumb, literally knew nothing. And this is how bad it was. one time I was out at a bar and I was talking with this Persian girl, beautiful young girl, amazing smile, big old fucking titties, loved everything about her. And we're just chatting and we're there in the bar together as like we're acquaintances. I'm not in the friend zone, but I'm not anything more yet. And as we're sitting there chatting and having a drink, she said, "You know, this may sound weird, but I personally don't think that blowjobs are a big deal, right? I feel like it's just like shaking hands, you know, and like it's really it's just something that we do to get to know one another." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Mhm.
Oh, she said that. Okay, wow.
She said that. And I I was in like I knew so little at that moment that like I recognized what it was. She was literally just saying like, "Let's go to your place so I can suck your dick," right?
Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Hey, let's shake hands." Like, fucking guy. So my point is just
Mhm.
look, we've all been there. We've all like, even if we see the signals, we don't understand them because, or you don't know what to do in the situation.
I remember I had a situation like that where I literally I slept next to a girl who invited me to her house and we didn't do anything because she just wasn't giving me signals. But the signal, yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
It happens. It happens.
Everybody,
Don't feel bad about it, but do learn from it and take away from it.
of course.
Yeah, I see. Justin also said happens to everybody. Bruno says it too. It happens to the best of us. That's exactly
Dude,
right.
yep.
Can you put up Coot's last message up there? It says Tay Tay responded dominatrix girlfriend. Listen, Tay Tay, is it like you and Saeko, but you know she's in her dominatrix outfit?
I don't know who that is.
What wasn't it? Wasn't it Saeko from Yakuza 7 from Like a Dragon?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
All right, fine. Then let me bring it a little bit more closer to home for you. I bet you fucking like Makoto from Persona 5. That's your type of girl, isn't it?
The class president girl. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
cool.
The she's domineering, she's commanding, she's always bitching about this, that, or the other thing, right? Like, careful,
So no,
careful, buddy, careful.
this fucking Atlas games. Do you guys remember the Fatless memes from back in the day?
No, what?
I'll send them in the Discord. So the
Do
Discord,
it, do it, please do. And then we'll share them over into Taylor's Discord as well. Oh, we need to bring Julius into your Discord as well. It's just a fucking JRPG dork scored. Like,
Oh,
it's
God.
amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
By the way, Julius,
Mhm.
actually, my company sponsored Taylor's latest YouTube video. And the post went live almost 24 hours ago. And Taylor, I do have some good news for you, which is some people have signed up. So
Nice.
I'll talk to you about numbers after we finish, but it is good. It is good.
Nice.
So we'll see how that thing goes. But his community is really solid, good guys, and love just hanging out and being dorks. Crow says Tay Tay should have been there for the dominatrix last month. Wait, I don't think I was there for that night, was I? Oh, okay.
Crow.
I couldn't come out, right?
Right. So it was one of the nights Paul was still here, and we all went out. Potter was with us too, and Crow. He met this Thai girl. And she was just visiting, and she was all like sorts of kinky, just openly talking about coming here to buy like dildos and vibrators and whatever else. Yeah. And that she wanted to take someone home to peg them. Yeah. So, and we were like, nope. So she sat next to Potter and kept hitting him in the crotch and kept trying to like get someone to go home with her so that she could dominate. Yeah,
Oh,
so
no.
oh yeah. None of us were really into
Nobody
that.
was game for that shit.
We were like, no. I'll just not do that with you.
And Tay is over here like, no, listen, I already have my own fuzzy handcuffs. Come on over. I'm prepared.
We're good to go.
Oh yeah, she did want threesomes. I was like, yeah, no.
Like, come on.
No.
You can't. Come on, you know she was fucking playing games at that point, right? That's like a dude who just meets you at the bar and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take you on a trip to Paris. And all you have to do is, right? Like, nah, man. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
only girls can ever do that without getting reported. If you're talking about the SA part of that, then yeah, that's pretty much true.
Yeah, I saw some guy. He Me Too'd himself at corner pub on Halloween.
Wait, fucking what?
He Me Too'd himself.
How? Explain.
Like, did
No. Well, no. Perhaps I should. There was no investigation. So what happened is that he was extremely drunk, extremely drunk. I think he was like a Asian American, right? And he was older, much older. I would say like 40s something. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing here? He's like making us look young. But anyway, like this girl, this really cute European girl, comes in with her angel outfit on, her costume, and he goes like, hey baby girl, where are you from? Where are you from? And he's just so drunk, he's repeating himself like 10 times, and he will not take no for an answer. So he's going, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? And he even goes away, and I hear the where are you from fade away. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Anyway, that disappears, and then he's standing actually by our table, like the little standing table that they have there.
Yeah, the island, yeah.
And he goes, and I hear a drink fall and crash and everything, and I turn around and it's him, and I go like, you're a fucking idiot, because I just said he was really drunk, but it turns out that he grabbed the girl's ass, right, and then she slapped the drink out of his hand. She turned around and slapped out of his hand, and the guy was just so drunk he didn't even know how to react. He was just like this.
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? So like, he just came back, and the girl was just like shitting all over him and yelling at him in Korean, and the staff came and had to break him up. And it looked like she wanted to report him and get him in trouble, but the guy just left. That was smart. The only smart thing he did that night. Yeah.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, I was telling Potter about that. Hey, look, that guy. No, I was telling Sid that he had gotten he had Me Too'd himself.
But not everybody can be helped.
No, that guy he had no awareness. He had no self-awareness, and he was just so creepy and older and so drunk. Just nothing good about him.
But like, older by itself doesn't ruin that situation. Being old and not having learned along the way ruins it, right? Because like, we are all older, right? Like, Tay-Tay's about to turn 38 next week. Yeah.
Saturday, yeah.
Right.
And I'm turning 38 in April, and like, we're pushing 40, all the three of us. But we have an idea. We understand, society at large. We understand like what you can and can't do, which lines you can and can't push. You cannot just walk up to a random girl and grab her ass. That's like, there's not a situation in the world where that's okay. You can't even do that at a fucking strip club, right? So like, that's literally never okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This guy has literally never learned anything. And unfortunately, this is the end result, right? This is your end game for dudes who go frustrated their whole life and never learn about what you should do, about what you can do, about the things that you can control. They never learn about the types. They never learn about how to deal with them. They never learn about how to attract the right ones. They never learn about their system. They never learn any of this. And so they end up stuck in this weird fucking incel hellhole thing that they've built for themselves by simply refusing to ever take good advice. And by the way, for those of you watching right now, if you would like to take some good advice completely for free, I highly recommend you click the link in the top of the description right now. You can get the completely free 14 Types Method Guide that's going to teach you all about the 14 different types of women, how to actually start attracting and meeting them, and what you can do with that information, how you can basically avoid being this dude who's trying to speed run an essay charge, right? Like, fuck that. Don't be that guy. Learn it now so that you don't have those problems ever. So, with all that said, I think that we're coming to the end of this. Now, today I am remembering our tradition, which is at the end of the stream, those who are still watching the stream in the live chat, y'all can suggest topics for next week's topic, and we can choose a topic together. So, what would you like me to cover in next week's lesson before we jump into the Q&A? Go ahead and type in your suggestions in there. This was a fun stream. This is Coot. You act surprised. It's literally the best part of your week every week, at least if you take the Cheers with Chaps. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and have a secondary Cheers with Chaps for those who are still watching. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wrong side.
Anyway, guys,
You're welcome, Coot. I'm glad it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Good
I
stuff.
think that they might be getting tired of hearing my stories. 90 plus episodes in. They're like, Jack, we fucking heard this one before. Okay. So hearing some new ones, it actually helps a lot. So you guys as well, Julius, Tay, ideas for next week's topic. What do you think? What's on your mind?
Well, the biggest thing on my mind, we talked about most of the stream, so that was I gotta recalibrate for.
Let's bring Justin's comment up here. Branching off from your which type is right for you, then the next type should be where should you hunt for the type that's right for you and how to do it. I might have done exactly that topic like 1 month ago, where kind of I did a complete topic on what to do if you have bad logistics, and I talked about understanding like where you are, where they are, understanding the different hunting grounds, understanding your purpose, what you're there for, things like that. I feel like most of the questions that you would have in something like that would be answered in the stream that we did just a few weeks ago about the bad logistics. All streams are equals, but some are more equals than others. Thank you very much, Coot. I never knew that you were a pig, but I appreciate that. Some people will get that reference, both of those references. And if you know, then you know. Then somebody got educated. Good for you. Okay. Do you boys have any thoughts for the next topic? No, nothing? All right.
I'll think of it over the week and send it to you.
All right, that's good. That works as well. I can't see the comments because fucking notifications keep popping up there. I'm getting like 1 million messages during this stream, and I have no idea why. I hope it's all of Tay-Tay's friends from the gaming shelf coming over to be like, Jack, this is the thing. You're obviously Snowball. Snowball also has a little bit of a different meaning, Coot. You don't want to be Snowball for a lot of reasons. For, the book reasons, but also for other reasons.
All right, guys. I'm going to head out. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up there. So, Julius, Tay, thank you so much for joining tonight. We're going to head off, but I'll catch you guys next time. And for those of you still watching, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't done it yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You guys know the YouTube jazz. Appreciate you. Much love. And I'll catch you again next week. So until then, Papa Jack Out.